Hi everybody, I'm Greg Fishel. Welcome to bonus weather video number 3 for this week, as I've done everything I can to get my quota of 3 in before the surgery on Friday. I may even do a 4th tomorrow, just because I can, before I will have to cease producing these for a few days. Anyways, and if you didn't hear me say this in the daily weather update, I just wanted to reiterate that I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of your encouraging words and best wishes and encouragement and all of that kind of stuff. It means a lot to me. So thank you all very, very much for that. And hopefully this will be fairly routine, and we'll get back on our feet here very, very, very quickly. All right, so today's update, bonus weather video, is about El Nino. Now, we've been doing these updates monthly. And so this is the update based on data through the month of December. So let me put myself down here in the corner, and here we go. Now, we have talked about this in the past, these oceanic Nino index values. Basically, the index tells you whether or not you've got an El Nino or a La Nina or a neutral situation going on. And if you have 5 consecutive overlapping months, and that's what this stands for up here. Like this is December, January, February, January, February, March, February, March, April, and so forth. If you have 5 consecutive overlapping months with values of 0.5 or higher, then that classifies as an El Nino. And then there are different degrees of El Nino, like 0.5 to 0.9 is weak, 1 to 1.4 is moderate, 1.5 to 1.9 is strong, and 2 or higher is very strong. Okay, so when we got into the months of April, May, and June, that's the first month that we hit 0.5, and then we got up to 0.8, 1.1, 1.3, and by the time we got to 1.6, which went through the period August, September, October, we had our 5 consecutive overlapping months. So we officially qualified at that point, and you can see the values went up another 0.2, September, October, November, and another 0.1, October, November, and December. Okay, so we are teetering on very strong, but we may end up, peaking in the high end of the strong category. So definitely a significant El Nino, no question about that. Okay, so has the El Nino peaked? Well, if we take a look at the water temperature anomalies in the Pacific over the course of the period from mid-December to the 10th of January, you actually see cooling here off the South American coast and warming back in here. And so this to me indicates that we have peaked, or if we haven't, we're awfully close to it. And every indication is by the end of the summer and into next fall and next winter, we're going to be heading right back into a La Nina once again. So this is not going to be a El Nino that spans several winter seasons. It looks like it's going to be one and done for at least this time around. Okay, so I mentioned this in a video sometime in the last month, where if I looked back through all the Oceanic Nino Index values back to 1950, the year or the months leading up to the winter of 72, 73, and the values that we see leading into the winter of 23, 24 are incredibly similar. Okay, so April, May, and June, 0.7 and 0.5. May, June, July, 0.9, 0.8. Exact match June, July, and August, 1.4, 1.3, July, August, September. August, September, October, perfect match, September, October, November. And in 72, 73, they did jump up into the very strong category where we were on the high end of strong. But this is a pretty remarkable match. And I mentioned that in 72, 73, it was an interesting winter in the sense that parts of South Carolina in one storm had 2 feet of snow. I believe there was well over a foot in parts of eastern North Carolina, east of Raleigh. And Philadelphia had no measurable snow the entire winter, which is the only time that's ever happened in recorded history. So all the action was in the deep south. And I was sort of hoping as a snow lover that, oh, if all these values parallel, then maybe the snowfall will parallel too. Well, to this point, it has not. The comparison so far, in December of 72, 73, there was no measurable snow, nor was there in the December of this winter. But then in January, in 72, 73, there was 6.4 inches of snow. So far in January, we have had nothing. And I think I can say with a fair amount of confidence that the chance of us having measurable snow between now and the end of January is just about as close to zero as you can get. I simply do not see, based on what I see just for the next 10 days, how that could turn around quick enough so that we would have anything to worry about snow-wise in the month of January. Now, in 72, 73, February had another 4.5 inches. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen in February of this winter. And March, there was 0.4, and of course, we don't know about March either. Now, from an historical standpoint, you look back through history, and there have been some prolific snowfalls in North Carolina in the month of February. So I am not ready to close the books and say, oh, this was, all those predictions of above normal snowfall are going up in smoke, because it still could turn around. But I also produced a video way back in late November, early December, that did a statistical analysis where I took a look at all the El Nino winters and computed the probability of above normal snowfall just based on history. But then I went a step farther and took a look at all the non-El Nino winters, and based on history, what was the percentage chance of above normal snowfall. And there was only about a 10% differential. And I cautioned all of you at that point and said, do not hang your hat on El Nino being a slam dunk for above normal snowfall, because in the early 90s, we had a strong El Nino and had no snow the entire winter, okay? And the biggest snowstorm in the history of the Triangle, which occurred in January of 2000, was during a La Nina, okay? So it is not as simple as some people make it out to be. And as a snow lover, obviously, I hope things do turn around in February and we get at least one big snow. But if it doesn't, and we end up with either nothing or below normal snowfall, I'm going to remind you, not from a bragging standpoint, but just the fact that I mentioned early on that this was not something you could hang your hat on, that it's not that simple. Few things in life are, okay? So it'll be very, very interesting to see how the month of February goes, and I will be watching it just as closely as all of you are, okay? So we'll have fun with that. All righty, that is the bonus weather video for today. I will probably do another one tomorrow, even though I normally only do 3 a week, but I want to sneak as much as I can in before I am incapacitated for a few days. So I'll come up with something and share that with you tomorrow. So you all have a great Wednesday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow with both a daily weather update and a bonus weather video. Take care, everybody.